all start the new year full of hope and enthusiasm and motivation, and then this time we are going to break that pattern and we are going to make next year the best one of your life. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I help you live a simpler, happier, more spacious life. And when it comes to years in our lives, the past two have actually probably been kind of helpful because they've set the bar really low. Here are some things to really kickstart your year to ensure that you are really making the absolute most of it. This is going to become your new benchmark. This is going to be the year to beat. It all starts with a question. This is a really great one. It is going to set you up to have the best year that you possibly can. And that question is, what would make this year successful? You know, when you look at yourself a year from now, you know, it's December 31st, you're looking back over the year that was. What have you done? What did you do that year that has led you to a place where you feel successful, you feel satisfied, you feel fulfilled? And you can ask it in different areas of your life. So for example, in your work life, what is something that would make you feel like it had been a successful year for you? And in your relationships, what would need to happen for you to feel like you had been successful in your relationships? That could be your friendships, it could be your romantic relationships, but what does success look like to you? Last year I asked myself this in terms of my business. You know, looking forward, what is the one thing that would really make me feel like my business was growing, that would make me feel like my business had been a success, you know, had another successful year? And for me, it was hiring someone. That was kind of the big thing that I felt would contribute or would make me feel like the business had been successful that year. And I did, I hired someone, so yay, tick to that one. Next is something I want you to quit doing, and I mean immediately, if not sooner. That is fighting who you are and what you like. You know, it's not giving into peer pressure or the way that you feel things should be or what other people tell you or what the media portrays. Stop trying to live a life that is not authentic to you. Stop trying to be somebody that you're just not and embrace who you are. I really struggled with this when I was younger because I was not the type of teenager that like broke the rules and stayed out all night. I was like drinking and smoking and, you know, sneaking out and skipping school and all those types of things. And it made me feel like there was something wrong with me because I liked to just sit home and read. That was it for me. But I was telling a therapist actually, like about all of this, all these kind of, I don't know, insecurities, I guess, that I had, you know, saying that I wasn't like other people my age. And she just said, so? Changed my life completely. So that is the question that I would pose to you if you are thinking, oh, but I should be doing this, or I'm not like other people, or why am I this way? So you are the way you are, and that's wonderful. You are unique, you are special, not in a, like, I don't mean that in any sort of pejorative sense. You're great just the way you are. And I think you should spend some time this year. When I say should, I hate when I use that word, but potentially you could spend some time this year learning more about yourself, discovering what you actually like and doing more of the things that you love, doing less of the things that you don't love, and maybe creating some more boundaries for yourself. Not walls, don't build walls, just boundaries. Discover what it is about you that you love, that is unique to you, that really makes you happy, even if it's not, you know, what makes other people happy. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're probably doing just fine. Also this year, focus on starting something. It can be very overwhelming with goals because particularly with resolutions, like if they're year-long goals, they're generally quite big things that will require a lot of time and effort, a lot of energy, possibly a lot of sacrifice along the way. And that just doesn't appeal to most people. Not even me, and I'm a big kind of goal-driven person. Plus, so much changes in a year. Sometimes I set goals, and by the end of the year, I realize those things weren't actually important to me. So if you find that you set goals, particularly big goals, and you don't always follow through on them for whatever reason, this year maybe focus on just starting things. The reality is we will each start lots of things in our lives, and we may think before we start, this is something that I definitely want to do. But when you actually dive into it, when you actually experience it, very often we change our minds. We realize that the reality is very different from the picture we had in our heads. So those things will kind of naturally fall away, and that's perfectly normal. That's just part of life. Now, I know when we started this, I was talking about end goals, having that success picture in your head, but allow that to be flexible as well. It gives you something to work towards, but don't feel that you have to stick rigidly to that. And also, just because you have a goal in mind doesn't necessarily mean that the way that you get there is the same as how you pictured it. You have a much better chance of succeeding, of getting to that success point, if you just start lots of different things and see what sticks. This is something I have really focused on a lot over the years, because as a perfectionist, sometimes I don't start things because I have that paralysis. I think in my head, if I can't make this perfect, if I can't achieve success and achieve it in the way that I have pictured in my head, then I don't want to do that because there's a possibility of failure. Whereas when I focus on just starting lots of different things, I complete a lot more things because I have actually started down the road. You can't complete something that you don't start. Following on from that then is to give yourself lots of opportunities to be successful and to feel a sense of achievement. So if you do have a big goal, if you do have that big success vision in your mind and you're starting lots of things, give yourself small deadlines or small tasks. Break your big goal down into very small steps and celebrate them along the way. And your steps could just be starting 5 different things, but really make it easy on yourself to get lots of wins. The smaller you make your steps, the more milestones you'll hit along the way, and that will motivate you to keep pushing forward. Don't only cheer for yourself when you get to the final step. There are so many opportunities in between to be proud of yourself and to cheer yourself on all along the way. If you keep making little promises to yourself and you keep delivering on them, it builds your confidence, it builds your self-esteem, it builds your momentum. Never pass up an opportunity to pat yourself on the back, because that is what is going to keep you going. Opportunities for success are everywhere. You just have to look for them and create them. I want you to pay yourself first. And this can mean, in a lot of cases, prioritizing rest and self-care. Yes, it's great to have a goal, to have a vision and to chase it, but you need to look after yourself first. You are your base, you are your foundation, and if that is not solid, the rest of it is just not going to work out. Very little can be achieved or achieved well if you are not rested and recharged and feeling rejuvenated and revitalized and like you actually want to get out there and do things. Getting out there first requires that you go in here, that in here is good. Listen, if you want to ride the success train, you've got to give it the fuel that it needs. It's not all go, go, go. You can't go, go, go unless you first rest. All part of the seesaw of life. It's also going to be vitally important that you build a strong team around you. Now, this does not have to mean an actual team in the work sense, but focus on the people that you are surrounding yourself with, whether in real life or maybe in the virtual world. But who are the people that you are spending time with, and are they encouraging, supporting, loving, inspiring people. Make your support network as strong as it can possibly be and distance yourself from people or social media accounts that really just drag you down, that don't make you feel your best. We're not creating space for that in the next year. Instead, form stronger connections with the people and the accounts that energize and uplift and encourage and support you along the way. People who will push you in a positive way to be your best self. Also, be sure that you are simplifying and streamlining, because there's no point in creating and cultivating the life and the network that you want in a shitty lot. You have to weed out all of the bad stuff so that the good stuff can take root and grow. Let go of everything that is holding you back, and you will be amazed at what will swoop in to take its place when you get rid of physical stuff, mental burdens, emotional baggage, when you free up space in your schedule and in your home or your environment. You're leaving room and space for good things to come in. And then make a plan of action. You have to intentionally create and cultivate the life you want, because otherwise you're just letting the current take you wherever it wants to take you. You have to be an active participant in your life. Now, when I say have a plan of action and, plan things out, I don't mean necessarily in a very detailed way. Maybe you're rolling your eyes or cringing right now because you're thinking, I'm a free spirit. I don't like to be boxed into plans and schedules. I like spontaneity, and that's fine. But you should still have some broad overview of what you are going to work on, when you're going to work on it, how you're going to work on it, how you're going to get yourself from the life you have now to the life that you would love to be living. That doesn't happen by accident, There has to be some form of thought and intention behind it. It's like having a map. You are here, you want to get here. Here are some different alternative roads that you could take to get yourself there. If you find that one is blocked or impassable or obstructed in some way, you can just take another road. Plans can be flexible. If you want to see how I plan out my days and weeks, I have a video on that. I will link it for you. Not how everyone has to do things, but it might give you some inspiration. Could be a good jumping off point for you. This next one might sound strange to you, but bear with me. I want you to consider journaling this coming year. And you might think, well, what is really the point in that? But what is the point in creating this amazing year for yourself if you're not actually documenting it, if you don't have evidence that it existed and you can't look back and, marvel at everything that you achieved? Now, I know, journals. You probably conjures up visions of really long diary entries, and it's all about, getting all of your emotions down on the page and having all of these insights and deep conversations with yourself. That's not the way I journal. I just jot down quick things throughout the day, things that I'm working on, and it could be something simple like finally finished recording a video or what I had for dinner, what the weather is like. They are really simple, basic things. But the beauty of that is that those are the things that make up my life when I look back now. And I actually did this morning, I looked back on something and I was talking about a project that I was working on not around this time last year, a little bit earlier than that. But I was like, wow, I completed that. Because, my thoughts at the time were all, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have so much work still left to do. I have to do this, this, and this. And I had done it like a to-do list for myself. And yeah, I remember in the moment thinking, this is this big, massive task. Whereas this morning I was looking back on it going, oh, I kind of forgot I had done that. Like, it's all over and done with now. And it's really lovely to look back and see those types of things. So while you are creating this incredible year for yourself, I want you to actually document it in a very basic way. But what are the things that you're working on? What is the music that you're listening to? What TV shows are you watching? What is the weather like? What is a funny thing that your kid said? What is a cute thing that your pet did? What is a supportive, kind, thoughtful gesture that a friend or your partner made? I'm sure you have been in a situation before where you have found an old journal entry of yours, or found a letter or a note from a friend, or even just seen a photograph, and it instantly transports you back to that moment in time and all of those feelings that you had. Or maybe you hear a song, or you smell a scent, and it transports you back to your mother's kitchen, baking with your mother when you were a kid, or, spending summers with your best friends when you hadn't a care in the world. It's always the simplest things that really pull us back. That is what I want you to create for yourself this year, a little time capsule of everything that you're doing. All of those wins and lessons learned that are going to help you to create an even better year the following year. But look, with the best of intentions, the best will in the world, we all fall off track sometimes. It's just part of the process, but a great way to not eliminate that, because like I said, it is part of the process, but to ensure that you get yourself back on track as quickly as possible is to do regular reviews. They're going to help you keep your eyes on the prize. They're going to help you continue your forward momentum. They're going to help you to adapt if you need to. Because remember, it is okay to change direction. If you decide that the destination that you were heading for is actually not where you want to go anymore, and you want to choose a different destination, change your direction, that's totally fine as long as it is intentional. Without them, you can just end up lost. So review regularly, whip out your map and see if you are still going to the place that you want to go, or if you want to change your destination to someplace else. Now, if you're thinking, how would I even do one of those? I have a few different videos where I've done different ones of mine. So I do annual reviews, I do mid-year reviews, I do monthly reviews. I have put all of those into a short playlist for you. Reviews are such a great way to just tie up any loose ends and to keep yourself moving forward. Go check that out. Go create the life that you want to live. And until next time, go raibh míle maith. Agus feici mé sibh se go luath. Slán.